Yo, everybody, welcome to the 47th installment of the NP podcast. Today is a very special podcast because we have a very special guest, and that is because he has 47 chromosomes. Hold on, I have to open up Discord. Oh, wait, Scuff Stream. Oh yeah, Scuff Stream. Wait. Yo, what's up, Matthew?
Nothing much.
Dude, glad
to be here.
I just had the most scuffed intro ever. I
was like, is this taking like a minute to do?
Yeah, it's kind of rough. It's really funny how it's like we always start these podcasts when I do it with people. It's like we did it. I start talking as if we weren't talking for 20 minutes before the podcast. Adjusting the camera, I see.
Yes, so it can actually just sit by itself.
Nice. What's going on, man?
So, do you want me to start getting into the topics?
This man, bro, I don't mean to pull you apart. I just explained to this man how to, do podcasting. I was like, how to naturally go into things. And this man's, I ask how he is, and the first thing he does, okay, so should I get into the topics?
That moment, alright?
Alright, bro. I guess my intro was correct. I said you're a very special guest because you have 47 chromosomes.
But you're supposed to have... Oh, that's the joke.
Yeah, because you would have Down syndrome. What's good, bro? How was your day? Let's get it started out with your day, man.
Well, I woke up at 10. Last night, one of my friends, Tristan, came over and we watched the new Mortal Kombat. Woke up, drank some water, worked out, did homework. That's all.
Dude, your life is very eventful.
It really is. That's how a Sunday is.
Sunday is the best, though, I gotta say, because it's like nobody's doing anything. You can go out, take a walk, and there's not many cars on the road. Sunday's just a nice day overall.
Mm-hmm.
So
and then you can walk through town, and there's barely anyone because barely anything's open.
Yeah. So are you still in foster care right now, or are you at family's house?
Okay, so that's yes. Short answer, yes.
That was
I do.
Yes? To which one?
Yes, I'm still in foster care, but I do have offers about family.
Yeah.
But
How's
they're totally out of this state.
What's the issue with that?
I have one issue, leaving everything I have here, leaving Riley, leaving Caden, and all the friends I've had since middle school, because the family offer that I have right now that is more prominent than the first one with my grandma in Minnesota isn't that far from here, but the only one that is actually more likely to happen is in Iowa, and that would just involve restarting everything that I built for friendships and stuff like that, because yeah, sure, we can say that everybody will just stick around and all this, but eventually people will fade.
Well, it's not even that. Every those people are going to fade out of your life even after high school. We like to say that all friends last forever, but the truth is I don't know, in my experience, and everybody in my entire life told me that your friendships in high school would never last, and I never believed them for an instant until I graduated and I realized that those people just were never your friend in the first place, because you have a whole different perspective when you're an adult on what a friend is, because you realize that just talking about video games all the time to somebody as a kid didn't actually equate to them being your friend, you know? But that's what I thought that meant at the time. It's not actually like what I thought it meant, but that's just how I saw it was. And sometimes most of those relationships don't pan out in the long run. And you should just pick whatever would put you in the best position in your life to get to where you want to be, because you even said right now you haven't even talked to Riley in a long time. It already seems like that started to drift away, right?
Yeah, because me and him, it's already drifting because like we're really good friends. We know each other a lot. It's just we don't really talk. You know, he's always busy with work. I'm always busy with people that I actually see every day and have the chance to talk to. It's just like we were close in middle school, and then once like high school hit, we tried staying in contact, and then like everything's just slowly started drifting off from there.
Yeah, and that's exactly what happens after high school too. But even to an even larger extent, because a lot of people they have to pay bills, they have to feed themselves, and it's crazy. It's really hard going through something like that, and I can't imagine what it's like for you right now, because I mean, I don't think you had it rough, but
I mean, there was a lot of rough patches in life where, especially when I blipped, like the whole 8 months, that was rough. Especially when the first 2 months I could have thought about trying to talk, but that would involve me violating the whole agreement that I had, that I would eventually get, you know, online stuff back, and that was the whole plan. But then I went to treatment, which I didn't go to treatment because I did something wrong. I went there because anyone can really go to treatment and get help. And whenever you...
The microwave.
No, not even that. It's like the room I'm in right now, it
is a kitchen.
It's not even a kitchen. It's parents' bedroom, and they have a heating iron, and when it stands up for too long, it starts beeping. So I just set it down and unplugged it.
So do you want to get into what happened to you, just for the people who might want to know and hear your experience of what you went through?
Okay, yeah, I'm totally open book about this, so feel free to ask any questions. So it all started March 3rd, I think. Yeah, March 3rd. That's when I got a lot of things taken. I got my phone taken, all of that stuff, and I'm not going to go full into depth of why, but I saw it as total bullshit. But I think Nerd knows a little bit of why, but that's besides the point. And that lasted about 2 months. During those 2 months, I was in this foster home. Foster parents, we'll call them Matt and Vicky. They were not necessarily awful foster parents. They were good people. I just didn't like their values on things. Like, they valued a lot more... Not to say, like, exercise is good, but, like, some days I just wanted to relax. And, like, especially during the summer, where these were the type of people, they had, like, 10,000 steps or walked 5 or 6 miles before 10 a.m. Which, great for them. You know, they're like 50s, 60s, something like that, and they look surprisingly young because of it. It's just like during that time, I was just not gonna sit there and just walk 5 or 6 miles every single day in the morning and then just get on with my day. I was just not the type of person I was. I was a couch potato, and they always encouraged like other things as well. Like, I did go to the gym. That's one thing I did enjoy, but I just didn't enjoy waking up for that kind of stuff, you know? Like, to slowly get into my day and then do something productive.
Yeah. That will slowly change between time, and I think I think what they did, even though you find it bullcrap, it's good for you, because those values will be instilled in you for later in the future. Even if they don't line up with who you are right now, in the future, that will be you. Dude, I literally walk 5 miles before it's even 12 o'clock. I walk pretty much most of my day because I have so much free time, and just having that ability and that creativity to know what you could be doing when you're, for instance, in a position where I am, where I have way too much free time in my life. You'll look on things back that you experienced that you may have thought was bullcrap at the time, and you're like, oh man, those guys like knew what they were talking about. I was just stupid. And I had a similar situation. I used to work for a guy who he ran a homestead in New York. He was a family friend for a long time, and he used to tell me that he works every day, all day long. And at the time I was like, man, I don't know how he could ever do that. And he was always outside. He didn't have any new phones. He had a really old phone. He had a computer, and that computer he only ever got on for work. And I was like, how could you ever live a life like that? And then a year or two later, it all came to me, and I'm like, I want to live like him one day. So there's always stuff like that comes around, and you get taught to it through time. It's not something you may learn right now, but it's something you'll definitely learn from in the future.
Yeah, it was more obviously than just like the whole exercise thing. There was a lot of like ways they did parenting that never, like, how foster care goes really is that you will always subconsciously compare everything to how your previous parents were that you always grew up with, like your mom and dad.
Yeah.
For me, the father, it's easy to please. You know, fathers in foster care, it's fine. Just do what you're told, and that's fine. The mothers, on the other hand, I always grew up with a single mother household. I always had that whole thing of like, is she, like my mom's name is Megan. Is she the next Megan? Is she this and that? Is she just going to adopt me and think I'm just going to fall into her everything and then just become one of her children? Which, it's a shitty mindset to have. And I don't have it anymore where I always compare, because right now my mom is not even a good thing to compare it to. Like, that's comparing something as good as a foster parent to dirt right now, because right now my mother's incarcerated. For a lot of the abuse, neglect, and several other felony charges.
Man. But foster care has got to be a crazy experience. And honestly, I think you should really take with being able to go to family, because think about how many people, you may not value it right now. And right now you think of your friends as your family, but it's, let me just tell you, you realize when you're growing up that your family was your family. And if you turn them away right now, you may lose something. Like, for instance, for years, I focused on YouTube when I could have been going up to Rochester to see my grandfather. And instead of doing that, I only saw him 2 times before he died, because I was so focused on working on YouTube all the time. And so it was a big regret at the time, but I realized that it was just something that had to be taught to me somehow. And that's what I learned from it, was the fact that your family is forever, but it's also temporary, because any of us can die at any point. And now it's great that you really hold your friend, you really value your friends, but sometimes what you value right now, I don't know, it sounds really negative, but I think you should go live with family, because there's not a lot of people. Like, dude, you're so close to being out of foster care. Imagine how many kids grow up in foster care and turn 18 in foster care and then never get family ever again. You have the potential to go live a life with family who know what you struggled through, and then will be able to go, like, have sympathy for you and understanding and be able to take care of you in a relatively good way because they're your actual blood family. There will always be a thing. You say that you're always comparing your foster parents to your real parents or your parent, but what these foster parents are always doing is comparing you to what a real child would be, where they had them, where they conceived them, you know?
Yep.
And so I think you should go with the family route, man, because I think it's really lucky that you even have the ability to go live with family, even if it's far away. There's nothing wrong with rebuilding a new life. Like, I've rebuilt, dude, even though I'm in the same location in life right now as I was 5 years ago when I started my YouTube channel, I had to rebuild my life plenty of times. It's not about the location. It's all about what's in the head that you're rebuilding.
Yeah. It's a lot to do with a lot of the relationships. It's just a lot of attachment. And I know over time, attachment doesn't last. And it's either, it could be today or tomorrow where that attachment just dies.
Yeah.
And you can't just sit here and expect everything to just be forever. Because it's not. The likeliness of you actually dying with one of your best friends is low, statistically. But you can't just think with that mindset because, like, oh, you're just being negative and you just never think this is going to work out because that's just negative. You can't just think that way.
Yeah. But it is awesome that you value your friends so much, and there's not a lot of people out there who value the people that's around them, and it's a pretty good trait to have in you because there's so many people who just take for granted the people around them, and then one day they realize there's nobody around them anymore because the people will eventually realize how much they didn't actually care about them, and then they'll leave. But family, it's not like that with family. Family pretty much loves you all the time. They'll always look
unconditionally.
Yeah, and they'll look out for you as much as they can. And I really do think, I mean, you should make your own Morty. You should make your own decision on this, but I'm just telling you my point of view on it because that could make it easier to make a decision seeing it point of view from somebody else. But at the end of the day, do what you think is right.
And so right now, a lot of it's a lot to do with friends, and it's also a lot to do with family location, because right now I'm 1 hour away from the closest family member, and that's my little brother that's 3 years old. Then second closest is 4 hours away, and then my sister just lives in Pennsylvania with her dad. And how my situation is all my siblings come from the same mom, but we have different dads. 2 of my sisters have the same dad. 1 had a different dad from me, from everybody else. Mine off the grid and just always lived in that single mother house along with the siblings, and they all were just never in the picture until foster care came up. And then they started getting into the picture, and then all my sister's parents got into the picture, and then it's just me and my brother Abel, whose parents are just no longer in the picture. Like, ever since Abel's father found out that my mom got incarcerated, hasn't been on the grid since then. Like, he had 2 prior charges. I'm not going to say for what, because that's just, his business to worry about.
Yeah.
End up stealing money from my grandma here because I want to talk to her as much as I can, and she was the first one to offer me a home, but I know I can't go with her because of certain reasons. She, for one, is already old enough, and she can't take on the stress of already having that when she's already retired.
Yeah, having to take care of another mouth.
Yeah, like a teenager is a whole lot of work. Like, what I found out in life is that it can go from 0 to 100 really quick. Even for a teenager, since like there's this whole hormone buildup, there's like everything, there's just emotional stuff in general.
Yeah.
And for my grandma to always be there is kind of impossible to expect because she's not how she used to be. Yeah, she used to do foster care and all that, but there's a reason why she doesn't do it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But I do plan to talk to my social worker at least about this whole moving to Iowa thing. Hopefully it's a good way to work out, because if I can get out of foster care, it's so easy living life. You really have no idea how much eggshells you don't have to walk on until you get into foster care. Like,
Dude, I understand. There's been times like that ever since I got my lower back injury. I realized how it made me 100 times more appreciative of life, because I realized how easy life is without a back injury. And I assume that's what it's like going into foster care.
It's like that, but like every single move, like just for me to leave this house and take a walk, someone has to know.
Yeah.
I can never be so pissed off and just walk out the house, and because guess what? I'll be considered AWOL and on the run.
Wow.
It's constantly where everyone must know where you're at all times. They must know what you're doing. Everyone in the state is basically up your ass at all times. Which, when you want to be the same way towards the state, they don't respond. Like, it's very shitty how much a social worker will not respond. Because 4 months into treatment, I didn't have any social worker contact. When you're supposed to have a monthly.
Wow. Did your social worker ever give you back that DS and games?
She totally ignored the text.
That sucks.
And I'm like, that's the other topic I'll bring up to her. Because the social worker I used to have before I went to Home on the Range, we'll call her Nikki.
Minaj.
And she's maybe as size as her. But no, I'm not joking either. But
a fat booty? She be twerking when she's supposed to be doing her social working.
but I can't. I'm not imagining that.
Your social workers are probably all too busy making lip sync TikToks.
Yeah. That's the better thing to do. Oh, but where was I going with this? Oh yeah, she's still my social worker, but the main person I go to now, we'll call her Dodie. They're both just cooperating on my case, and Nikki is just like the main, like, basically admin, and Dodie is like the person I go to so she can go to Nikki.
Uh-huh.
And that changed because I reported the fact that I didn't get any contact for 4 months. And Dodie, the person that would usually have taken me, if I didn't have so many siblings when I got into foster care, I would have already been on a caseload, but since I didn't, I got into Nikki's originally. And when she saw that I didn't have any contact, she put me on her caseload as fast as she could, and started like taking care of like the stuff I was asking for, like phone calls. I didn't have any phone calls or anyone to talk to for those 4 months.
Dang.
Yep. It was not up until like home visit. Last Thanksgiving, Home on the Range does a run for all the kids and lets them go home for a solid like 4-day weekend for Thanksgiving, and then like a whole week for Christmas. And then that all that home visit, I was like texting a whole bunch of people. I was trying to make sure I could get everyone, and I think I texted you by then. No, I actually didn't. My bad. But I was just focused on, you know, being out of treatment life. It's really weird having a phone after 4 months of not having it, because after your first month, you just don't think about it.
Yeah.
At least that's how it went for me. And it's just, at first it became like an addiction, and then I started falling into bad habits, which I even took liberty today just to delete everything that seems to be stuff that makes me stay on my phone.
That's good. That's
like,
good, man.
Like TikTok. I didn't realize how big of an issue it was until I looked at my data. Where my data and how much it's used, I've used over half of my, like, I get 10 gigs a month. I'm not some, like, rich and can get the $45 each month, because I actually pay for my own shit.
I don't even have data. So I
yeah, I saw the text now number. Don't worry.
Yeah.
So half of my data has been used just with TikTok alone. It's like, this is an addiction. Like, if I use half of what I already pay for just on an app alone, that's useless. I could literally just be utilizing
saving up that money.
Exactly. I don't need to be paying for 10 if I'm literally just cutting out what I don't need.
And if I can do it without, you could probably survive on 2 gigabytes per month and be saving up all that money for your future, dude. Because
exactly.
That is more, dude. I wish you're 15, right?
16.
Okay.
It was on the second that I turned.
Nice. Happy birthday. When I wish I was saving up for my future at 16 instead of blowing it off on crap for YouTube. I mean, I'm not unhappy that, because I have a great setup right now, and I'm set for doing YouTube for the next, 20 years if I felt like it. But
yeah.
I wish I was more invested into what was going to happen later in my life than investing in, I guess, stuff that was, well, never mind, because I did invest into what my future was, which I always thought YouTube was going to be my future, but it isn't going to be my future. I'm going to quit one day. I can't see myself doing YouTube past 10 years. And that's going to be 5 years from now. So I just save up as much as you can, so when you figure out what you want to do and you're really sure of it and you're really passionate about it, you will have the funds to start being able to do whatever you want to. Even if it's just a little baby step, you'll have the capital there to do it.
Yeah. What I'm trying to do is save up as much as I can, and I always get like, I'm trying to save as much money as I can.
Yeah.
Because I already know once I leave, at any point in time when I leave anywhere, whether it be any placement, I need to face the facts and face the racks. Okay?
Oh!
Okay. And that's what I call this whole plan. I plan to leave my home with at least $20,000 to start with. It is not a lot of money. It really isn't.
20,000 is a lot. You could buy 5 acres.
Like,
you could buy a good 6 acres plot of land in Alaska for $20K.
Yeah, but that's in Alaska and stuff like that. I have to first get out to Alaska. First have all this stuff, pay the material for that acre, and once you get out into this other world, $20,000 goes down if you don't use it correctly. Like, I've seen people spend that much, almost half of that amount of money just to feed their 5 children in a month.
10,000 in a month?
Yeah, it's crazy how much people will spend on that, and it's unhealthy.
Dude, I survive off of $20 a week to eat.
Literally.
I mean, it's not fun, but it's kind of what you got to do when you don't make any money.
I survive off of 30, and that's where days where I just take off school lunch and just go to the coffee shop with my friends. And I don't even order that much. I literally just order apple juice and a donut. Yeah. Because I don't do coffee.
You could even cut that out and save up more, or be eating even healthier. I know it's not. You may not be as serious as I am about it, but eventually you will be. But it's good that you're at a good start right now, being able to realize that you want to save up to be able to go out there.
Yeah. Okay, I don't know if I will ever end up being in the Alaska thing, because sure, it would be great, just being away from everything else. It's just like, it's so much away from family, and family is what stuck with me for most of the time. Like, the most people that were texting me, like, oh, happy birthday and stuff like that, were family. And when I even got back from the ranch, everybody heard about it and was blowing up my phone after all the messages that already were coming up because I didn't check my phone for all of those months.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, how are you doing, this and that. Like, everybody, you realize how much plants you don't water until they actually come back to you. Like, there's a lot of even family members I didn't talk to that were even concerned about me. And I'm like, I don't really talk to you, but thanks for being concerned and, being a good part. Yeah. It takes a lot for someone just to even remember the type of stuff like my birthday, even if someone I don't even talk to. Like, I can barely remember. Shit, I couldn't remember.
You can't even remember. Nah, don't worry about it. Remembering birthdays are stupid. I
know for a fact yours is in like February.
Yeah, it is.
February 16th.
20th. I'm turning 20. Yeah. That's even awesome. You remember the month. I think remembering birthdays are stupid. I feel that you should be able to give to people. It feels even fake to celebrate. I mean, sure, people want to celebrate something. That's fine. But that people just want a reason to celebrate and have some joy in their life. And sometimes that's the only way to get people together. I know for a fact it'd be so hard to get all my family in one place on just a normal weekend. But if it was, say, my birthday, they're all going to be there. And
yeah, it's a reason to go.
But I feel like you can give to people any time of the year to show you care. Whether it's their, like, for instance, I didn't wait till your birthday to give you a DS. I gave you it because I thought you needed it. And it's kind of weird that people do that. They'll only buy them a gift kind of out of pressure. And so I don't believe in birthdays. I don't believe in birthday gifts at all. And just the celebration in general is kind of stupid, besides the fact being able to actually get your family in one place.
Yeah. I just think of it as like, oh, you're now in a new age. Look at how you've grown over the last year, which for me, it's been a lot. Like, ever since the first year of foster care, I went through 5 homes.
Sheesh.
Second year right now, I've only been in 1 within the first month.
Sorry, dropped my keyboard.
Like, 2020 was already 4 homes. 2021, only 3. And then now I'm thinking about only having it down to 1. And then just moving into family.
I really hope you move in with your family, dude.
Yeah,
they seem like they care about you a lot. And you'll have a lot of fun times with your cousins, your aunts, your uncles.
And it's a small portion of my family there. There's not a lot of people there. Most of my family, it's like not really like good family that I want to be around is here. It's more of the positive side of family that went to Iowa.
Here, how about this? I'll just adopt you.
Keep me in your closet.
Yeah, you can live in my closet that's behind me. You got probably 6 square feet of space. That's perfect.
Yeah, my bed could be the sock collection.
Yep. You can sleep in a drawer.
Dude, I think my foot could fit in a drawer. That's all.
Dang, you know what they say about big feet?
Big socks.
Facts. Even bigger shoes.
Everyone at the ranch would just joke about like, oh, you know what they say about big trucks? Big tires. And then because it would just lead to say like, it would just think that they would lead to say like, oh, big dick or something, and it would just trick people.
Have you seen the new Pokemon games?
Arceus and the new, like, Brilliant Diamond and the other one, yeah.
Yeah, dude, oh man, seeing those games kind of make me want to get a Switch, but I know I shouldn't, because I know they're not going to be that great of games.
Which, I wanted to get them, because I actually never played any of those games.
Oh, Diamond and Pearl?
Nope.
Yeah, they're good. I should have sent you, well, it wouldn't have mattered. Anyway.
Well, I do now have copies of Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum. It's just I haven't gotten around to playing them, and
on your computer.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, it's so awesome. ROMs being so accessible on computer. You can download any Nintendo game ever. Like I grew up as a kid wanting so bad to play Super Nintendo games. These rare arcade games, and it's just so cool that having a computer you can play all those games within a few clicks of a button. Oh no. Somebody came through. What's gonna happen? What's gonna happen? Oh no. Oh, is he gonna get beat? Oh.
Yeah, I'm gonna get beat. For sure.
They're gonna take away They're gonna take away your eating privileges. I love how your name, FosteredGhost, literally predicted your future. Wait, no, you were just Ghost. Never mind.
Yeah, I was on licensed Ghost for the longest time.
Okay.
And then I'm like, it was like after me and Riley were done talking, like one night in like October of like 2020, and I was like, okay, I think I actually have a license now, Fostered, and then I changed it on everything, and that's when I realized names really don't matter, and I came back to it after that 6 months. I'm like, this just seems stupid. And then when I was at a buddy, Caden, you know him probably as Truzy.
Yeah.
I was at his house and I had to make a completely new PlayStation account, and we were looking like for clean names with Ghost, and I ended up coming up with Young Ghost, which not a bad username.
Yeah, I mean, was it YUNG or OUNG?
It's OUNG.
Okay. I guess that's clean. I guess you've been FosteredGhost so long that I completely forgot you were once something else. You were PNX Ghost at one point.
Oh my gosh. Yo, that was so long ago. It feels, damn, 2019 was 3 years ago.
Yeah, dude.
I'm not old, I swear.
I know you're not. You're a little boy still. 16.
Yeah. I even got told by a lot of 18-year-olds that were like just at the ranch because they just did stupid shit that like the last 2 years, do the most of what you can. Like have fun, but don't do stupid shit.
Yeah.
And that goes without saying, but because their whole mindset was, you got to realize in that after those 2 years, you're on your own.
Oh
like,
yeah.
There's no piggybacking you can do anymore that like you used to in your teenage years. You can't just have a place to go once you get off work. You have to find that yourself. Yeah, you don't have just a job just to go to. You have to find that yourself. You don't have the education, funding. You have to get that yourself.
You don't have a job just to save up money and spend it on cool crap. You have a job because otherwise you would have nowhere to live. You would have nothing to eat.
Foster home that I was in got me really into budgeting. They got me on this app. It's called Every Dollar. And it calculates what you get per week. Then it puts it all into proportions. Like, what is your food bill, say if I had one? What is your spending allowance? What is your saving? And I've saved up to about $200, which I know isn't a lot right now, but that's also taking $50 each paycheck, which I feel like I don't need the rest of that, other money for other things. I could always just put, more than 50.
Man, you're getting paid slave wages. How many hours a week are you working?
Oh, I don't work a lot, actually.
Oh. Do you only work one night a week?
I work 2 nights a week, and it's just split. I work after you're done with dinner and stuff like that. I go work at the alley, then just work for about 4 hours. Which the 4 hours really seem like 1 hour because it's so enjoyable.
That's
it's
good.
An old-fashioned. It's a good environment to be in. The worker that put me onto this job, her name is Alyssa, and she taught me how to fix the machines, how to run all the concessions and all that. What all needs to be done to that alley, because I love the alley so much, because for one, it's one of the only older fashioned alleys to the point where you don't have your electric automated point system. You have to write everything down.
Dang, that sounds like a lot of fun, dude. I'm so happy for you.
Yeah, and there's even some days where this job's just so much fun. And I work there on Mondays and Thursdays. And Mondays there's a bunch of kids that come out there, elementary for first through fourth, and they can bowl pretty well. Obviously, not as much as me and Alyssa because we've been playing longer and we can just average 180 like it's nothing. But it's good when they ask questions of how to bowl, because a lot of them don't know, because a lot of them weren't there at first grade when they started teaching. And it's kind of cool teaching someone another hobby that you've enjoyed for a long period of time, and then watching them experience the same thing you did.
Yeah, that is always fun. I always had something similar with that, with seeing YouTubers just start out, and I remember the process of it and how much fun it was. But the thing is, I see YouTubers start now, and it's such a negative experience for them. It seems like they'll make these negative commentary videos about how things are going bad, and then they'll talk about how they want to quit. And I'm like, dude, you just started a month ago and you're already quitting? I maybe it's a different thing because I grew up with a different time of YouTube where I wanted, dude, in 2010, I wanted to be a YouTuber. It never changed. I still wanted to be a YouTuber, just even more bad in 2017 than 2010. And so I guess I had a lot more drive to be making videos and be positive. It's just crazy now that all the new YouTubers, they just quit so fast. And because I talked about this in my last podcast, but every single friend I ever had on YouTube has quit. All of them are gone. And man, I mean, it is kind of cool that I'm the last survivor, but it is.
I think what separates people from the average YouTuber to the one who quits in a month is how to use your stress and how to use all of everything that is causing you to think about quitting and using that as harder discipline and harder just ways to improve yourself so things can work for you. Because it's really easy to face a problem and be like, oh, I can just cut out one thing and just be done with it.
Yeah.
When people realize that in like years from now, I'm like, I wonder if I were to stick with that decision, where if it were to gotten me if I actually did the YouTube thing. And they will always wonder it, and they can just never go back because it's not the same.
Mm-hmm.
It's this constant, oh, I have a problem, I might as well just erase the problem instead of fixing the problem.
Yeah.
And I feel like if you have a lot of negative in your life, I imagine it like a boat. Water is the negativity around the world. And the positivity is what's in that boat. If you let negativity into that boat, it's going to start drowning. And if you can't get all the water cut out, then you're just going to drown and sink. And if you can't use that type of mindset and just cut out everything else negative, still do what you love as YouTube, and this also falls under whether if you love YouTube or not, whether if you want to dedicate yourself to it or not, which I found out I don't want to dedicate myself to that. Like, I have so much other things I need to do before I even start considering that. Because right now I take 7 credits for high school. I plan to take summer school and have my senior year be literally just electives and just fun things to do.
That's a good
because
idea.
I don't want to be that junior that's still taking physical science when that's a first year class.
I don't know. I kind of didn't. I didn't do anything with school. I still passed all my classes, but I refused to do homework, and I never studied at all. I think it was worth it because at the end of the day, I was going home and grinding YouTube, and I had a lot of fun. But I know it's different in your case, but yeah, the whole YouTube situation is crazy. I understand. The worst part is, though, as being a YouTuber, I understand why people quit. It doesn't happen to me anymore, but I used to get really disheartened by I remember there was a few times where I was doing a similar content to somebody, but I was doing it first, and then I found out this person, and I saw that they started their channel 3 months ago, and they're doing their same content as me, and like, it's bad to compare yourself to people, but obviously I wasn't in the right headspace at the time, but
unreasonable expectation.
Yeah, but I would just compare myself to them, and I was like, how are they at 100,000 subscribers in 3 months making the exact same content as me, and yet I'm over here busting my butt off to like not even going to bed at night to make videos while having school in the morning and work on the weekend. How am I not getting in the same place? But I realized that your time will come when it's supposed to come. You just have to actually get to that time. And be
grateful that you have to put in more work than someone else. Because if someone starts 3 months ago and already has that, think about how much they didn't have to go through. Which, great.
Yeah, that is true.
Of actually grinding.
Yeah, and the grinding is honestly from what I've learned recently, I talked about this my last podcast, but how much I've been grinding YouTube. Like, I upload every single day on my second channel. On every social media, I upload every single day, which that isn't for me. I'm not actually on the social media. I just upload to it and then get off of it immediately. It's so fun grinding. And I'm glad that I can be in a space where I just want to, because my goal is way different than it used to be. My goal was to, make enough money to support myself, and I still want that. I would still love to make enough money off of YouTube to just pay for my food for the week. That would be great. But it may be a long time until that happens, or it may never happen. Who knows? But what I care about right now is just getting the word out to people about getting off electronics, and that there's a real world out there, and there's so much to experience that isn't looking at your screen. And that's why I made a TikTok. I was talking about this in the last podcast, but people were telling me that if the message needs to be to a certain people, which is the people on TikTok, because people get so addicted to that app. I've never used.
It's so easy to get in there because it plays with your attention span. Mm-hmm. You know the whole thing about your attention span is almost about a goldfish, right?
Yeah.
It plays with that because most of the videos on there only last about 15 seconds. It's rare that a video can last up to the max, which is about 3 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And you can easily just find content and it just automatically play for you. Because with YouTube, you have to find videos, then play them yourself. On the other hand, with TikTok, it plays it right for you. You don't have to make a choice.
Yeah.
All that. It's just done right for you. Everything was without ease. Which is a good thing and bad thing. Because it measures your likes and measures everything. Borderline just tracks what you like and all that to create this whole For You page. The whole For You page is based on what your likes is, which a lot of people don't necessarily like everything that they like. Like, they don't always have to press that button, which I feel like it shouldn't be based on what we click a button for. It should be based on what we watch the most, like what we stick around for, because it's really easy to be 5 seconds into a video, realize it's not for you, and then just scroll right past it.
Yeah. I feel I think I'm really lucky to say I've never used TikTok before. I think that
never.
I've been uploading to TikTok, but that's not using it. I've never watched a video on TikTok before. And it looks like an awful platform that is made for making people retarded and making them sucked in and lose their soul. That's what TikTok that's the embodiment of TikTok. And then that's when I realized, man, I need to help these, I want to contribute and help to these people to getting off of TikTok. So kind of what my game plan is to infiltrate and look like a TikToker. No, but to start out posting content as a TikToker would, but eventually post this red-pilled content to get people off of TikTok. And it doesn't take any time out of my day to get this flowing, because it takes 2 minutes max to upload a video to TikTok, and then I'm off of it. I was only on TikTok once the entire day to upload my daily video to it, and that's all I want it to be. And I want to get people off of this because I was so blessed to learn at such a young age that there's so much more to life than being on the internet. And I want to share that desperately to other people, because dude, you miss so much of life from being on your computer. And one of the things that taught me this was my grandfather dying. I was so immersed into my computer, I couldn't have just gone and seen him more. And he died. And think about how much is like that in real life. Imagine this. You spent your entire childhood on a computer while you had a lot of woods down the street, but you spent all that time on your computer playing games, right? But then you turn 18 and you want to get outside and you start going outside a little bit and you have a lot of fun. But then you find out that your town is running logging in those woods, and those woods are getting desolated and turned into disgusting apartment complexes. There's all of that in life that it happens every single day. Every moment you're on your computer, you're missing out on something that's happening in nature, or you're missing out on something that can never be here again. And that stuff is just so important to me, and I'm not in a position where I can do, like, I do what I can. I don't look at my limits right now with what's happening with my back. I just do what I can do. And right now, that's all the walking. But I would like to spend every second of my time on the internet to help other people get off the internet, because I've lost connection with the internet, and I am so happy for that. And my life has been so much better because of it.
Like, the only reason why I have connection to it is friends need to reach me from there, and that's all I need to use it for. That's, besides from like the game I have on it, just Retro Bowl, and that's all I want to use it for. Nothing social media. I don't even have Instagram, Twitter. I don't know why I even have Facebook. It's already pre-installed into my phone. It's just cutting out all things that are useless and putting more use. Like right now, just without social media apps on there, I have like most of my phone storage freed up just on that, where I can store more pictures, I can store more stuff on my phone. I don't have to pay what Google can ask for, like $5 a month just for unlimited storage.
Yeah.
Where I could just be saving money and just cutting out other shit.
That's good.
It was a good thing last night because it wasn't planned for Tristan to come over. He came from a school activity, and my school is like 2 blocks from me. And he didn't have anywhere else to go because he thought he was going to go to Michael's, and then Michael's canceled. So he knew that I was 2 blocks away, and I'm always a place he can go to. So he ran in 16-degree weather 2 blocks to my house and ended up spending the night since his parents were in Devil's Lake.
That's awesome. I remember having fun times like that with people I thought was my friends. One time I had to take a really early bus to work, even though I worked at 1 o'clock. I had to take the 8 o'clock bus because that was the latest bus that could get me to work. And so I remember I took the bus, got there at 8:30, and then I walked 20 to 30 minutes down to my friend's house who lived downtown, and then we just chilled until 12:30, and then he was like, "Oh, my job was only a 10-minute walk," and we realized it was actually a 30-minute walk, and we both sprinted all the way back to my job. And it was such a fun experience.
And this friend's, for me, middle school, I only graduated 8th grade. Well, graduated in middle school with 3 other people in my class. It used to be so much bigger until everyone just either moved away or just went to other schools. It's shit, to be honest. It's so scuffed to the way things worked. It's built mostly for sped children, and with me and my other friends just not being sped, we just flew right past it.
Yeah, naturally. I mean, people would have thought otherwise if they saw the beginning of this podcast.
And they can probably see my outline for the topics. That's a horrible outline.
No, they can't. I only have your face cam on there. Don't worry.
Oh, good. Literally, I got taught how to do an outline just a few weeks ago. That school doesn't teach you or prep you for high school. Freshman year, hit me like no other, but I ended up getting straight A's.
Good.
Which I got a lot of help from like teachers and stuff like that. I actually learned a lot from like math and stuff like that, which carried on because freshman year, the curriculum that they had me in was a lot faster than the states required. I actually took Algebra 1 all in one semester and then Algebra 2 in the second semester, which is huge. And you're actually not supposed to do that. You're supposed to do that in 2 years.
Dang.
Now I'm prepped for geometry to be just about done. We're just reviewing what I've already learned because last semester before I moved back here, the curriculum was once again faster, and they already did the basis, and we're still ahead of these people in the town I'm in. And now we're just working on that for the rest of the year, and I'm just good on geometry, and then for Algebra 2, I'm already going to know everything. Since I already was taught. The only thing I really worry about in school right now is science after biology, which I think is probably going to end up being easy because we already don't do much for biology. It's just understanding the biology aspect and how long it takes.
Yeah.
Which, physical science, it was horrible at first, but you got to look at it in a scientific way, which sounds painfully obvious, but you have to learn like how to see things differently, how to not just look at an element and not see just a number and a color and just see it on a periodic table and not think anything about it. Because I've gone to the point where I can calculate atomic number just on looking at the elements subconsciously.
Dude, that's crazy. I never even dude, I could name you gold, aluminum.
Yeah, I don't remember it. I can remember lithium,
plutonium,
potassium,
sodium,
I can remember
sodium chloride,
or sodium chlorophyll, sodium
nitric acid. I don't even know if that's actually a thing.
That's not.
Nitric acid is nitric acid is from like fruit.
What?
Yeah, nitric acid is taken from fruit, I think. Here, let me look it up. Nitric acid. Nitric acid is a nitrogen oxide of formula HNO3 in which a nitrogen... Wait. Wait, let me see.
Oh, this thing? Nitric?
I guess it is on the periodic table.
It is? Where?
Oh, I meant citric acid. I'm gay and retarded.
What's the difference?
Oh.
I'm kidding. Citric acid comes from oranges, I'm pretty sure, right?
Yeah. Well, I think it's a concentration from any... I don't know. I'm not an expert. I'm just a YouTuber guy who wakes up, do YouTube, sleeps. I don't know. I once sharted my pants.
That's content.
Yeah, dude. I sharted for the content. Totally why I sharted my pants 2 months ago.
He really just did it for the culture.
Yeah. Did it for the Vine. Did it for the gram. Dude, I can't believe it wasn't so long ago that I could hop on Fortnite any day and play with you. And then we went to not talking for almost an entire year.
Yeah, dude. Oh my god, I had an obsession with that game.
I did too. I actually quit playing in 2020.
No, like mine was bad. Like it was.
Dude, I spent over $1,000 on the game. You cannot say yours was worse than mine. I definitely have more playtime than you.
That amount of money, but if I had that amount of money, I would. And on the account of spending over 20 hours, almost all that time a day. before foster care, I was sleeping around like 4 hours a day and spending 20 hours at least on the game.
During the summer?
Yeah.
Bro, you are not spending. Dude, your brain would have turned smooth if you played that much Fortnite.
It wasn't just Fortnite, obviously.
Okay, so you're playing
it was a
lot of PlayStation.
Good portion of it, but it was also like Rainbow Six Siege, which a game it's hard to get into because the skill gap is so high.
Yeah, there's Suck Penis 3. I love that game.
There's other BRs like Apex Legends, which I plan to get into for like, the whole esports program at Larimore, because I plan to use all that time that I spent grinding a game, learning how a game works, how to just get better at a game faster. Like, you don't realize how much you gain from all that time and what you can apply to it with other games until you just spend so much time on games and you just realize it, I guess. And I plan to just do that, have it still benefit me, because it's like, oh, it's a fun thing to do, get out the house and start just doing something. I don't want to ever just sit in my house and do nothing, because time could always be used.
Yeah.
And
that
what?
True.
How many seconds are in a day?
2, at least. At least 7, actually. Probably 7.
How many seconds in a day, dude?
At least like 7, dude. I don't think there could be any less.
So there's 86,400 seconds in a day.
See, I said there couldn't be any less than 7.
Shut the fuck up. Ooh, I should have swear.
Dude,
I actually don't want to do that anymore.
You're gone off the stream. See ya, dude. Goodbye. Okay, I'm black.
Why? Did you come back?
Yeah, just like your father.
Oh, never.
That was wrong. That was too bad, bro.
I joke about it literally all the time. Don't worry about it.
That was too far.
Okay, so how I think about my seconds in a day. You say for each day in your life you get past $86,400 a day. No matter how each day you're going to lose the rest of that money if you don't spend it, but every day you will get that 86,000 every day. Would you spend your time not spending it all, or would you go out of your way spending enormous amounts, as much as you can every day?
Spend enormous amounts. I'd spend all of it.
Exactly. So why not treat it like your seconds in a day?
Yeah, that's actually...
Why value your money not in the same way you value your time? Because there's a lot of people in my life that I think personally waste my time. I let them, because I may seem like a pushover, but eventually if they get to a point where I feel like they're wasting too much of my time, they're gone. It's really that easy to not form attachment with people until you think it's right.
Yeah.
And that's why I learned a lot with going to Home on the Range. People come and go as they please. Like, there's kids there on average that are there for 3 to 6 months. And once you leave there, sure, you're going to keep in contact, but there's people here that are like 4 hours away asking me if I want to hang out. And I'm like, dude, are you going to drive me? Like, it's not something I'm just going to do just to hang out with a friend, And I can't just sit there 4 hours a day and, schedule that, because I have other stuff to do. Well, these other people that are more into bad influence and stuff like that, no, I'm not, but still want to hang out because they just like me as a person. Just want to see if I can hang out and stuff like that, when they don't spend the amount of time I do active. They spend most of their time either not doing something productive, or at least most of the day on their phone.
Yeah, you shouldn't
Like,
be around that influence either. You want to set your own path.
exactly. That's
You want to
another reason why I
spend
don't
that. You want to spend those 86,000 seconds
with someone that's worth it.
Yep.
Like,
or being by yourself is better.
mm-hmm. It really is, like, being by yourself in general. It's really a good thing or a bad thing, because if you cannot sit with yourself without either like getting depressed or just mad because you're just by yourself with your emotions and you have to rely on other people for as a coping skill just to get away from things, that proves you need to just improve the way you cope with things and not always have to rely on others. You need to be more independent with yourself.
That's good that you learned that, dude. I learned that a long time ago as well. That you need the only way you're ever gonna be happy, well, not even happy, but be okay with yourself, is if you're by yourself, if you're able to be alone with yourself. Because some people can't stand being alone. For instance, they think they have to be in a relationship, and then they're so clingy. Those are the people who can't be alone.
Like, I hate those people, and then they like force themselves into a relationship that they might think that might work out, but it really doesn't. You're forcing something down someone's throat, metaphorically, on the account of your own feelings, and it ends up being so selfish because you feel like you can't be alone.
Yeah.
And in time, when people realize that, they figure out that, wow, I'm just really kind of a dick for doing that. I forced so many things on other people I didn't want to, and then ended up getting hurt from it still, and in a worse place.
Yeah.
Because the more times you get the high of being with someone that someone gets, of like the whole endorphins, because love, whether if it's fake or not, it will still stay active to your brain, because you can love someone off of attachment, attraction, all of that, and still feel it in your brain. Whether if you truly stay with that feeling is depending whether if you just do it off of attraction or if they're actually a good person to you, is what matters. And a lot of people fall into this whole attraction deal, when in real time, when if you were ever to get married, the person that really matters in attractiveness is the attractiveness of who they are, because over time those looks ain't gonna last.
Well, everybody should be taking care of their body. And
for sure, taking care of your body, all of that, but like, the looks aren't gonna always be there when there's a fight going on, and that's just the reason to stay in a relationship. That's not ever a good reason.
Yeah, that is true. Yo,
it's
dude. What?
Yeah?
What? No, continue.
It's what keeps the relationship together. That's how a person would really show that emotion. And that emotion creates this whole endorphin high, and when someone can't be alone, they get used to that feeling. And I found a lot of people in treatment, they always chase feelings. Whether if it's a girl, whether if it's a drug, it's something to get their mind off of their trauma.
Yeah. That is true. Everybody's like just trying to escape when they should be dealing with what happened to them, because for instance, something bothered me a long time ago. A person on YouTube, it was another YouTuber, and I just like always tried to escape the reason why I felt that way. And the day that I was able to be like, this made me feel this way because of a certain reason, and I was allowing it to bother me, that's when I figured out that, it's insane. Life is crazy. You gotta, yeah.
I got a whole 2 years ahead of me. I'm gonna do so much with it.
Dude, I'm so glad to hear that. I'm so glad to hear how hyped you are and positive you are with your situation. You got your head screwed on tight, man. And I think I want to end the podcast here because I literally got to go sharp my brains out. and it looks like you're talking to somebody.
No, I'm looking at chat now and seeing if there was anything. Because I thought at first when he interrupted me, it's like, oh, he plans to interrupt the podcast because it's 7:16 over here.
Oh yeah, it's 8:16 here, and I gotta make dinner with my sister and shart my pants. One man once said there's 86,000 seconds in the day, so why waste 5 minutes, aka 260 seconds, on pooping when you can just do it in your pants? Sigma male grind set, bro.
Yeah,
we out here on the grind set. Dude, it was so nice having you on.
It's nice listening to your podcast, especially during quarantine. That's when I spent the most time meditating, because we're always in the house, and I just listened to your podcast as I was meditating, and I think I achieved enlightenment at one point, and just lost it after quarantine and stuff like that.
Achieved enlightenment by listening to Nerferior podcast. That is the dumbest crap I've heard.
Yeah, it was more of those podcasts where it's morally mindset focused. It wasn't the ones that you had Bye Kitty on. Those weren't shit to focus on.
Do you know, dude? I've not talked to Bye Kitty in 2 years now, I think.
Dude, Caden, you remember the beef with Caden and Bye Kitty for a while, and then he just got taken off of Twitter?
Well, no, I don't know about that, but I know that Bye Kitty blocked me on Twitter because I was making a joke with him, and he took it seriously, and then...
Oh, yeah. He took it seriously, and then him and Caden got really into it, and then he just deleted his whole account.
Wow. Yeah.
And when Caden was looking through his iCloud for a while, he found a screenshot of his profile. I'm like, damn, I haven't. Bye Kitty who?
Yeah, irrelevant.
Literally.
That's crazy.
I can't remember who even said irrelevant. No, Rice Gum. Thank you.
Irrelevant. Rice Gum. All right, dude. Well, it was so fun having you on. I'm about to pee my pants.
Right.
Dude.
I'll open my mouth.
All right. Oh! Dude, I hope to talk to you again sometime. Dude, I'm so glad I got you on the podcast. Thank you for sharing your story with me and with everybody else who could potentially see this one day. I'm glad that I hope people can learn from your experience. I've learned a lot from your experience. It's some crazy stuff you've gone through, and thank you for sharing.
Yeah, this is my 7th home. It seems like a lot, but it is really a lot, to be honest. It doesn't seem like a lot in hindsight, but that's really how it is for a lot of things.
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah.
All right, guys. Thank you for tuning in to the 47th installment of the NP podcast with the special guest, Fostered Ghost. Special because he is actually retarded. He's kind of slow.
Yeah.
He claims he got enlightenment from watching me.
Not watching, listening.
Listening, okay? You have to be real.
You never know if you ever achieve enlightenment because it's your subconscious only.
Yeah. All right.
There's no recording you floating.
All right, bro.
But
have a good night.
It was great to be here.
Yeah, it was great to have you, dude.